This is 2.2, Part 1, Compound Statements, Logical Symbols, and Conditionals. So a compound statement is when we take simple statements and combine them together with what's called a connective. And the connectives are words like and, or, and if then. Another one that I would like to add to this is the word but. But acts like an and. So the first thing we're going to do is determine if the statements below are compound statements. We're going to identify the simple statements and the connectives. So the first statement we have here is the Bucks will win the Super Bowl, or the Rays will win the World Series. So we have the word or here, and we have two simple statements. The first simple statement is the Bucks will win the Super Bowl. And then we have the connective or. And then the other simple statement we have is the Rays will win the World Series. So we have two simple statements. I'm going to call P, the Bucks will win the Super Bowl, and Q, the Rays will win the World Series. The simple statements connected by an or, so this indeed is a compound statement. So yes, it's a compound statement. So the next one says the dress was blue, but it had orange trim. So again, we have a connective. The connective is but. Remember that works as an and. And we have two simple statements. So we're going to let P equal the dress was blue. And let's Q equal the dress had orange trim. Okay, and by the way, I'm using P and Q just because it is traditional to use those for simple statements. Okay, so let's look at this next one. I like oranges and apples. So we have a connective here, the word and. So the simple statement would be P, I like oranges. And we'll let Q equal I like apples. So we have two simple statements connected with the connective, so the answer to this is yes, just like it was for the last one. So now I have to look at the last one. I like cookies and cream ice cream. Even though we have a word and in it, it is not a connective. It is a type of ice cream because cookies and cream is a type of ice cream. This I like cookies and cream ice cream is a simple statement. So the answer to this one is no, it is not a compound statement. So just because it has the word and in it does not mean it necessarily is a compound statement. You have to read it and check it. Okay, so let's talk about connectives. We talked about a couple and I pointed out a few, but now we're going to look at symbols. So the symbol, an upside down A without the line, so it's upside down V, is used for the word and but. P is a simple statement and Q is a simple statement. So we write this in a symbolic form as P upside down V Q. So we read that as P and Q. This is called the conjunctive. So the conjunctive is the word and. Okay, it goes with and. The next one, the symbol V is used for or. P, simple statement P, or simple statement Q, is written as in symbolic form P or Q. This is called the disjunctive. So disjunctive goes with the word or. Now we have this tilde symbol. This stands for not or negation. It is read as not P. So remember, we're only negating a simple statement, right? So not P. By the way, we can negate a compound statement, but we have to use parentheses. So let's not do that right now. So not P is written as negation P. This is called negation. Negation goes with not. Okay, then we have a symbol, which is the arrow going to the right, is used for if then. If P, then Q is written as if P, then Q. So this is what it looks like symbolically. This is called the conditional. Again, conditional goes with if then. So if a condition is met, then this happens. And then finally, we have the biconditional, which looks like arrows pointing in both directions. This is used for if and only if. So simple statement P, if and only if simple statement Q, is written as P, if and only if Q. This is called the biconditional. So again, this is used for if and only if. By the way, the biconditional is called biconditional because it means if P then Q and if Q then P. So that's why the arrows are pointing in both directions, because it is an if and only if, but both ways. And by the way, another common way to write if P then Q is to say P implies Q. By the way, this goes up with the if then, the conditional. So implies means a conditional. Okay, so let's go ahead and translate each statement into symbolic notation. Let P represent I like Pepsi. Let C represent I like Coke. It says I like Pepsi or I like Coke. So P, I see the word or, I do the V, and then I write C. Okay? I like Pepsi and I like Coke. So the connective is and. So P and, which is upside down V, C. I do not like Pepsi. So P is Pepsi. To do not, I'm going to do tilde P or not P. It is not the case that I like Pepsi or Coke. So it is not the case means negation. Okay, so when you ever use this wording, it is not the case, whatever follows it goes in parentheses. So I like Pepsi is P, or is connector, which is V, and Coke is C. So that's the case where you use parentheses, and you can negate a compound statement. I like Pepsi, but I do not like Coke. So P is Pepsi, but remember is and. I do not like Coke, you're going to negate Coca-Cola, because remember C means I like Coke, so to negate that I have to do negation C. If I like Pepsi, then I do not like Coke. So this is an if then, so I'm going to put Pepsi then, so if Pepsi then I do not like Coke, I'm going to negate I like Coke, so negation C. All right, we're going to stop here, and this is going to pick up with part 2. So thanks for watching part 1, and please watch part 2.